The Slovak Prime Minister was attacked on May 15th in the town of Gandlova. He received gunshot wounds. The attacker was detained. According to Slovak media, he is 71-year-old writer Juraj Santula. The Hungarian investigative journalist wrote that the detained man had repeatedly participated in the activities of the far-right organization Slovenskí branci. On social media, he publicly expressed support for it. Slovenskí branci is a paramilitary organization that has been active in Slovakia since 2012. Its members actively cooperated with the Slovak branch of the Russian Night Wolves.
The organization cooperated with the pro-Kremlin biker movement Night Wolves, and their leader was trained by former Russian special forces. In 2022, the group announced the end of its activities from the Slovak publication FS Square.
Putin's regime is preparing physical attacks on the West, the Telegraph writes, citing a statement by the head of the British Government Communications Center, Anne Butler. According to her, given the increased tension between Moscow and the West, the British Government Communications Center is increasingly concerned about the growing contacts between Russian intelligence service and proxy groups. The aim is to organize cyber attacks, sabotage and surveillance. German media reported that 2 Russians were detained in Germany in April on suspicion of espionage and planning sabotage. According to DPA and Spiegel, one of them was preparing to blow up and set fire to military facilities and enterprises, while the other was spying on the U.S. military training ground, Grafenwehr, where Ukrainian armed forces train.
Germany is now sounding the alarm, and the director of German counterintelligence is openly speaking and warning European countries that Russia is preparing and carried out subversive activities in the West and preparing terrorist attacks. Considering that the Olympic Games are to be held in France, I would recommend the French authorities to pay attention to it, because Russia is now also engaged in activities to gather mercenaries around the world.
The Kremlin is trying to intimidate other countries in order to undermine support for Ukraine, Estonian Prime Minister Kaja Kallas has said. Moscow has stepped up its hybrid attacks against all European states.
Russia has also intensified the shadow war against all of European countries. It wants to really scare and intimidate the free world to scare us away from helping Ukraine. But we shouldn't be scared.
Russia remains the main external threat to the elections in the United States of America. U.S. Director of National Intelligence Avril Haines has stressed Russia is using all its resources to undermine trust in democratic institutions and U.S. support for Ukraine.
They essentially have a state-run propaganda machine, right, that is comprised of domestic media apparatus, outlets targeting global audiences such as RT and Sputnik, and a network of kind of quasi-government trolls that are used. And over the years, the apparatus has grown. It's, broadening the array of influence actors, the tactics that they use for covert and deniable operations, and they're trying, as you indicated, to shape U.S. political discourse, European political discourse, to reduce support for Ukraine.
As reported by U.S. intelligence, the United States has significantly improved its election security capabilities, particularly in combating foreign disinformation campaigns since the 2016 election. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Krystyna Dąbrowska, UATV News.